So Game of Thrones is one of the most popular book series and television series there is right now, and of course there's a tie-in board game to go with it. So we thought we'd take some time and talk about this and introduce it to some people out there that may or may not be aware of it and may be interested in learning how to play it. Just like the books and television show, it can appear excessively complex and convoluted and hard to get into at first, but once you put a little effort and research into it, it can be really, really rewarding. So without much further ado, here's how to play Game of Thrones Battle of Westeros. Anyone who's played a similar game to this, like Battle Lore or Memoir 44 or Command and Colors, would pick up really quickly on the basic play. But for a new player, someone who's picking it up because they're a fan of the books or the TV show, it can seem daunting at first, but in reality, the sequence of play is pretty simple. Basically, a game turn is going to consist of the two players going back and forth, taking turns performing an action. And there's really only three choices as far as what an action can be. An action can consist of passing. That's the simplest action, and it basically just means you're done for the turn. Once you pass, it's your last action. You don't get to do anything afterwards, so you better be sure you've run out of stuff you want to do before you pass. It probably won't be the first thing you do, but it is the easiest, so I thought I'd mention it first. Most of your other actions are going to consist of ordering units. And there's two ways you can order a unit in this game. One of which is you're going to have tokens. Each turn, at the beginning of the turn, you're going to roll 4 dice, and those dice, for example, I rolled a green, a blue, a red, and a flag, so I would have gotten a green, a blue, a red, and a flag token for that turn. In addition, you're going to have a hand of cards. So when you spend a token, it allows you to order any unit on the board. So for example, I could spend a red token to order this red unit. The unit rankings are red, blue, and green, denoted by the flags on the unit. The ranking tells you pretty much everything about a unit. It tells you how fast it can move, how strong it attacks, its defense, and also, obviously, how often you can order it. So if I spend a red token to order a unit, an order is very, very simple. The unit gets to move, and then it gets to attack. And depending on its ranking, it is going to have different options. Like, for example, this is a red-ranked Lannisport Guard. So because it's red-ranked, it gets to move 1 and attack. That's its only choice, is move 1 and attack. It can move 0 if it wants to, but it's maximum 1. Now, for example, some have choices. In general, green are the fastest, blue are in the middle, and red is the slowest. So if we look at this cavalry, the green option, it can move 4 and attack. The blue action, it can move 3 and attack, or it can move 4, so it can sacrifice acting the action for a little bit extra speed, and the red has no choice in the matter. Its maximum movement is 3, but it gets that attack again. So that's pretty universal across all the units, is that green is going to, green is going to be the fastest, and red is going to be the slowest, but they're also the strongest. So when you order a unit, they can move, so I'll have this guy just move right over here, 1 space, and then they get to attack. The way attacking works, again, their card is going to tell you the important thing, which in this case he's a red, and the card tells me that a red Lannisport Guard gets to roll 4 attack dice. They'll take their 4 dice, roll them, and what you roll will tell you how successful you are. You look for the color of the model you're attacking. So this again is a red on red. So what I need to roll are red shields. Red shields will hurt them. Greens and blues will not. Also, fists, the purple gauntlet, are wild and will always hurt somebody with a couple exceptions. So if I rolled, let's roll that again, I rolled 2 reds, so I would do 2 damage to this unit. Damage is simply measured in models. So 2 damage, he loses 2 models. So that is a basic attack. Now there's the red, green, and blue shields, which will hit appropriately red, green, and blue models. A flip side of the blues, there are 3 blue shields on here, so they're the easiest to hit. There are only there's 3 green shields, 2 blues, and 1 red. So even though the reds are the slowest, they do roll the most attack dice, and there's only 1 shield on the whole die that'll hit them, so they're very resilient to damage. The other possible dice rolls are the Gauntlet, which, as I mentioned, are pretty much universally a hit. There's two main exceptions, one of which is archers can exist depending on the scenario, and when an archer fires at range, they do not get a hit with a gauntlet. And to reflect the advantage they have over infantry, if an infantry model rolls a gauntlet when attacking cavalry, they do not get a hit. That is an advantage that cavalry has, which is pretty handy. You'll frustratingly roll like 4 gauntlets and hate your life. The other possible die result is a flag. If you roll a flag result, the person you're attacking has to retreat a space. And if they retreat, you can, if you want to, move into the space they vacated. So that way you can force people out of scenario position without having to wipe them out entirely. After you order a unit, you will take that flag on the model and you are going to rotate it 180 degrees. The only purpose this serves is to let you know that that unit's already activated this turn. Units can only activate once per turn, so once all your flags are facing the same direction, you're pretty much done for the turn. The flag token, you can spend a flag token as an action to turn a flag back the other direction. You also, if you do that, you have to spend a morale, which I can get into morale more in the future, but you have to spend a morale to rally that guy, or you can, instead of rallying somebody, you can use a flag token to gain a morale. Morale actually ties in very well with the last type of thing you can do with your action, or with your turn, which is instead of ordering a single unit with a token, you can spend a command token. You're going to have a certain number of these each scenario. The scenario is going to dictate how many you have, and that's how many you get to use every turn. When you spend a command token, you put it onto a leader to denote that that is who is making the command. Now the leaders are going to have a command value. Jaime Lannister here has a command value of 3. That is the maximum number of command tokens that you can put on him in a turn. So once he's done 3 command actions, he's done for the turn. All leaders universally have a command range of 2. What that means, when you command a leader, you are going to play a card, and that card is going to tell you what happens. So for example, this card says order 3 units. This card says rally all units, and so on and so forth. And those will do whatever they say within the leader's command range, and command range is universally 2 hexes, 1, 2. So for example, if I played this order 3 units, Jaime could order himself, this cavalry, and these swordsmen, but he could not command the archers because they are 1, 2, 3 spaces away. So an important aspect of this game is keeping your leaders in position where they can order as much stuff as possible to get the most possible bang for your buck out of these command tokens. Just like with the individual tokens, a command is going to consist of moving and attacking. When you do multiple guys, they are going to all move. So I could have him move up there, him move up there, Jaime could move over here, and then any or all who can attack would then do so, and then you would rotate them to denote that they have had their action that turn. Command cards, there's several different types. They're all going to function basically the same, and they're going to tell you what to do. But the biggest thing is, most of them will just have one thing they do. So this one just orders 3 units. This one just rallies all units. Occasionally, some of them will have a special thing at the bottom. This one, for example, says before command. If Lannister morale is green or better, the ordered units get +1 attack die when attacking this turn. So you want to make sure you play this card when your morale is high enough for that to kick in. And that's going to be one of the main features of morale, is a lot of those cards are going to tie into it. Also, if your morale goes off the bottom of the chart, in most scenarios you automatically lose. So part of the game can be just driving the morale of your opponent down to the point where his men lose the will to fight. Lastly, some of the cards will actually have the option to play more than 1 command token. So for example, this one, I can spend 1 command token to order 2 units, but if I spend 2 command tokens, in addition, ordered archers that do not move may attack twice, which can be incredibly good if I had 4 or 5 archer units and I just wanted to rain hell upon my opponents. This one also has one of these before or after command specials, so this card just does a whole lot of stuff. A couple of other interesting little things about combat. There is something called engaging, which is when you attack somebody, like these guys, let's go back here and have these gentlemen attack this guy. When they attack, you actually put down a token denoting that they have fought each other on that front. What that does is if another unit attacks either of them, so let's say this guy comes up on a future and attacks him, he gets a benefit for flanking with that combat. Specifically, after rolling his attack, he can pick one type of result he rolled and re-roll all of them. I didn't get much better result that time, but that could really save your bacon. An important thing, interestingly enough, every faction has their own specific marked ones. Like the Starks ones have the wolf emblem on it, and the Lannisters have the lion. But they're actually universal. It doesn't matter which one they use, because you can be hoisted by your own petard here. He attacked here and put the engagement, but he's also now engaged in combat, so this Stark unit could come up and get that exact same benefit when attacking him. So it's very important to be mindful when attacking people of what your flank looks like, because you can really put yourself up a creek. So the turn's going to go back and forth, taking turns, actions, orderings, back and forth, until some point when both players have finished. Then you're just going to wrap up the turn. At the end of the turn, you can hold up to 2 tokens and up to 2 cards. Your morale is going to reset back up to a certain thresholds, so if you get too low, it can actually bounce back up at the end of the turn to give you a reprieve. And then you're going to start the next turn, draw cards, roll some more dice for tokens, and wash, rinse, and repeat. So really, on first glance, it looks like there's a lot of stuff going on, but it's relatively simple. It's just take turns commanding either individual guys or through the leaders, and then move and attack is all an action is going to pretty much entail. There is a lot of interesting complexity in the game when you dig deeper, though. A lot of different scenarios that come with the main game. There's several expansions you can buy. There's fan-made scenarios as well. And almost all the units, without exception, have special abilities, which I'm not going to go into too much here. But there's things like, for example, the Casterly Rock Cavaliers, the Lannister cavalry, have Pursue 2, which means that if they force somebody to retreat, they get to move 2 spaces and then they get to attack again. So that can really make them run all around the table and attack a lot of stuff. Some models take more damage to kill, some get to roll extra dice. It's just all kinds of crazy stuff that can really make the game interesting and make every battle different. All in all, I think this game's really, really fun. It's well worth picking up if you're a fan of this style of game or a fan of the show or the books. I do enjoy playing it. I do think that the setup time can be a little cumbersome, so we like to play multiple times if we meet to play this game. A lot of times Brian and I will meet and play 2 or 3 scenarios in a row just to make it more worth the effort, because it's surprisingly fast. Alright, so we were going to do a couple little demo turns here, because a lot of people, it's easier to see stuff when it's in action versus me just rambling on with my melodious, angelic voice. Yes. So, Andy's going to play the mighty Wolflord Stark, and I am the true kings of the land, the Lannisters. No. Brave Jaime Lannister is leading combat against Rickard Karstark. So the first thing I'm going to do with my action is I am going to use one of my command tokens, play it on Jaime Lannister, to order 2 units of the same rank. He is going to order these 2 blue units. So firstly, this unit is going to move up 1.
And that's moving up 1 because he is a blue rank.
He is a blue heavy infantry, which is move 1 and attack, or move 2. So he moved up 1 to there, and this one is going to move up 1 to here. Jaime himself is going to get into the thick of things. So we'll start here with these poor guys attacking the red cavalry. They don't have much hope because red's very hard to hit, and I can't count fists because you're cavalry and I'm infantry, but I might get lucky. So I'm blue, I get 3 dice, and I rolled 1 retreat. So you are forced back 1 space, and it has to be one of the spaces away from me, so you have your choice of these 2 spaces.
I think I'm going to go straight back.
An important aspect that can come up sometimes, if your cavalry, for example, just for the sake of the argument, had been here, these would have been the 2 appropriate retreat spaces, which are both illegal, so that turns into damage instead.
Okay.
So it's important to make sure you all have an escape option open.
You keep a back door.
Yeah. My guy's a filthy coward, so he's not going to follow you up. I turned his flag, and then Jaime is going to attack these guys right in front of him. He is a blue as well, so he's going to get 3 attack dice. Jamie, all the leaders have special abilities in combat. Jamie's is when he attacks a unit containing an enemy commander, it's easier to kill him. One thing I didn't go over is that if the commander is your last guy remaining, they don't die to a single hit. They have their capture rating, which I might as well show Rickard here. That shield at the bottom shows he has a capture rating of 2, so it takes 2 damage to kill that last model. Jamie's special ability is I reduced that number by 1, but that's obviously not... No, doesn't matter now. So you are green. I rolled 1 green shield, so one of your guys dies. And that was my first action. Oh. And now we are engaged in combat.
All right. So that is your turn is done?
That is my turn is done, so now it's to you.
Nothing has to happen for that?
Nothing happens here. There's no morale change. If you kill a unit, morale goes down. A green unit goes down 1, blue it goes down 2, red it goes down 3, so those stronger units are worth more morale. If you kill a unit, you get a victory point. Also, the scenarios are all going to have individual victory points, like, for example, taking over a city is usually worth a victory point. The bridge might be important. It all depends on the scenario.
Yeah.
But I did nothing impressive, so nothing happened over here.
And it's also got a lot of nice scenarios for this game as well.
Yes, yes.
All right, so what we got here is I've got Rickard. I am Ricard. I am Rickard.
Ricardo Montalban.
Yes, exactly.
I call him Rickard.
Deep part of space. So I'm going to go ahead and play one of my command tokens on him.
Yep.
Which will allow me to, let's see here, I'm going to order 3 units. Seems pretty cool.
That's a good card.
He is going to, since his command is 2, he's going to command these guys to attack. These guys are going to move and attack. That's blue. They can move 1 and attack. So they're attacking them. And then my Winterfell Riders, they're red, so they can move, they can move 3 and attack.
Horses are fast.
Yeah, so I honestly, I think they're just going to move right back up. I don't like those guys there. All right. So I've got these guys here over at the Lannisters. Does it matter which ones go first? Or
not rules-wise, but tactically it could. Like, for example, if you attacked with these ones first and you got a retreat, you'd push me back here and they'd no longer be able to attack me. So you kind of want to, if they force me back to here, your guys will still be able to attack me. So chaining people like that is a big important thing.
So your only retreat option is to go to here if I'm attacking them,
right?
Because that's a
this is blocked.
Blocked in that way. Okay. All right. So they are a green, which is the warhorse in the north, which means I have 2 attack dice going against a blue. I need blue shields. You attack at full strength, no matter even if that's
exactly. They're just hit points. They don't reduce strength.
Go.
So 1 hit kills 1 guy.
All right. And these guys are.
And you got a retreat as well.
Oh no.
Oh no, that you just grabbed.
Yeah,
sorry.
It was dice set time. All right. And then we've got. I forgot to
rotate that flag. Rotating the little figure's a lot easier.
Yeah. These guys are there. Same thing, but they are blue, so they got 3 attack dice.
Yep.
Against blue. 2 more blue shields and a retreat.
It would be 2 hits and a retreat, but you are flanking, so if you want, you could pick one type of dice, i.e. the flag, and you could re-roll it. So you could try to get another hit, although my toughness is 3, so you wouldn't kill my last guy even with another hit, so you might as well take the retreat.
Yeah. Yeah.
So 2 hits kills my 2 guys, and it forces me to retreat back here onto this hill. And then you can follow up if you so desire.
Oh, we're pushing.
Oh yeah.
We gotta push south. It's too cold up north. Alright, so we got these guys there. Alright, and then we have this attack over here, which is a red versus a blue, so it's back to 3.
You're red, you roll 4 dice.
Oh, 4 dice. Nope, I need 1 more. There we go. So roll it down.
If I was green, you would beat the crap out of me, but I am not.
Nope.
So that is going to be a whole lot of nothing. Green, flag. Oh, well, flag is a retreat.
Yep.
So I'll retreat back here onto the bridge.
And we're going to push the cav up. Even though I did my movement before, what was I trying to say? even though I only moved one, I can't continue my movement from there, so I can't like hit and then continue
Right,
movement.
you do your movement and then your action.
Okay.
Now, you know, with the special abilities and everything, you have Pursue, so you would be able to move more and attack again if we were bothering with that, which we might as well. Pursue 2 means you can move up to 2 spaces instead of 1 and then get to attack again, because horses get to hit and run.
Oh.
So you can move a second space and attack into here, or attack the same guy again.
I'll attack over here. That sounds actually... And that's the rule for Pursue. That is right there.
Yep.
On the card.
You get to bring your other guys with you.
Yeah. Alright, we'll go ahead and get them. I'm not engaging them because we didn't attack yet.
Correct.
So, we just got them. 4 dice on the red. So I need reds. I get 1.
That is 1 hit. Another casualty.
And that is the end of my turn, correct?
That is it, it looks like.
Now, if retreat, they're not actually fleeing. They just retreated.
Right. There's no. They backed up a little.
Okay.
There's no models don't flee in this at all. They're always good. The worst that can happen is they can be out of position or dead.
Okay.
Next, why don't I go ahead and do something here? I'm going to use a green token to command these guys with the green flag. Now, interestingly enough, they started the turn out of the command range of Jamie, but you actually retreated him into range, so I could use an order token on them instead. But I'm going to use because it all just matters where they are right now.
Okay, okay.
So right now they're in command range, so I could use a card if I wanted, but instead I'm just going to use a green token to order them. And they are green cavalry, which can move up to 4 and attack. We're going to get reckless here, and I am just going to go 1, 2, 3 and try to attack these weakened guys back here. Maybe I'll get lucky. Green cavalry, they roll, well, they are only 2 dice, so I got 1 hit.
1 hit, there we go.
And that is their action. So it's back over to you.
Back over to me, okay. These guys have already... I can't move them again right away, can I?
Not without rallying them.
Oh.
So if you had a rally action or if you had a flag token, you could rally them, which would allow them to activate again this turn.
Correct, and these guys are outside of the command there.
Right.
So they can't really do anything.
Well, you have a purple token, which just like purples are wild when doing damage, they're also wild when spending them for order tokens. So you could use a purple token to order this unit.
Okay, even though you're out of command
Tokens have no range whatsoever.
Okay.
You can command a guy way over here with a token if you wanted to.
Okay.
That's
and when do you
range.
refresh the tokens?
Each turn you get 4 random ones.
Okay.
And you're allowed to hold up to 2 from turn to turn, so you can have up to 6 of them.
Okay, makes sense. Alright, well then they're gonna shoot at some cav there. I think that's probably a better choice. And that doesn't matter if we're engaging there.
Correct, because if you look on their card, they actually have, ranged units all have a minimum and maximum range, and theirs is 1 to 4, so they're allowed to attack somebody right next to them. It is hypothetically possible to have a range with a minimum higher than 1, in which case you don't like being next to people.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Alright, so we got, I can move 2 and attack. I could just move and attack on 2.
You can. Archers have an ability called off balance, which means if they move, they roll 1 less die.
Oh, okay. Well, then we're going to stay right where we are. One green.
1 green, 1 hit, kills a horse. Alright.
And then this goes back into the pile.
Yep, back into the pile with it.
And this guy is turned.
So then for my action, I'm going to put an order token on a Jamie. Now it doesn't matter that he himself is exhausted. He still counts as the center point for my order tokens. And I am going to have him order 2 units. Before command, it has an ability. If minus morale is green or better, the ordered units gain +1 attack die when flanking this turn. Unfortunately, if I was smarter, I would have had my horses attack this guy to set up a flank, knowing I had that card in my hand.
Yeah.
But apparently I'm not smart, because I didn't do that. So instead, these guys are just going to go ahead and attack the gentleman right in front of them. I'm red, you're blue. That means a lot of you should die. Red heavy infantry roll, or excuse me, guards. Red guards roll 4 dice. And I need blues or wilds, and I have 1, 2 of the appropriate things, so 2 of your guys keel on over. And then...
With the appropriate
sound effects. Yes, they murgle like merman when they die.
Yep.
So then it's back to you. I believe that all of you guys are exhausted. If you have a rally card, you'd be able to rally them.
I do have this for Ricard. He has a special ability to flip this card after ordering Ricard's unit to rally Ricard's unit and all adjacent friendly cavalry.
Sure. So you can order him. You have a red token, so you can order him, and you can flip that then to rally him and the guy next to him.
Only Cav.
Oh, and well, okay, it rallied him.
And adjacent friendly cavalry.
Yep.
So he likes running with horses.
Yep, so he is now rallied. Now rallying means he'll be able to attack again, activate again. It doesn't allow you another instant turn. So
okay.
Well, I am going to do the same thing. Flip this unit to rally Jamie's unit and all friendly units adjacent to Jamie's turn. If Jamie captured a commander this turn, rally everybody. Well, I did not capture a commander, so we are going to rally, rally, and more rallies.
Seems kind of odd with the model not being able to. I suppose they can just keep on moving and attacking. All right, I think these guys.
Also, speaking of which, we are engaged here.
Oh, yep.
Because I attacked you.
So then I would have to give them an order to attack, correct?
Yep.
Or I'd have to play a token to attack?
Yep. You have to order, and you have 2 blue tokens, which doesn't do you much good for him because he's red, but you still have an order token left.
Order token. So... And we will... I guess you can order 2 units, but it doesn't matter because they're exhausted at this
Exactly.
time. Okay.
But you don't have to order the 2. You can order 1 because that's all you have. You can still use that.
Just
card.
order him. He's going to go ahead and attack there. Well, I could just use this for the order. I don't have to play a card.
Nope, that is to play a card.
Play a card.
You need a matching card. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just order 2 units of the same class. That's fine. I only have 1 calf unit, so we're going to go ahead and slam into the other red unit there.
All right. And that is going to hurt me. You got 2 hits and a retreat. Would you like to re-roll that blue because you're flanking?
Oh, yeah, we'll do that.
Oh, it's still 2 hits, forces a retreat, and then your pursue can activate.
Yep. I will go ahead and pursue. And we'll go to here. And pursue, it's a move and attack, right?
Yep.
We'll go after Jamie.
All right.
We'll see if this works.
It might. You roll 4 dice, you need 3 hits to capture him because he's got defense of 3. If I was green, I'd be dead. But I am not.
No.
Oof. That was a lot of green.
And pursue only triggers once.
Correct.
So I wouldn't be able to just keep on chasing you down the field.
You can't run around the table murdering everybody. All right. Well, that's scary.
Flee?
Oh yes, I am forced to flee, so I will fall back to here. And then the pursue doesn't trigger, but you still could get the standard move up after forcing an enemy to flee if you wanted to take that hill.
Yeah, I would. Seems like Cav on a hill would be a good thing to do.
Yes. All right. Well then, this is looking dire for me. Let's go ahead and spend a blue token to order. Let's not do that. Let's spend a red token to have this infantry unit attack your cavalry. I am red, so I get 4 dice, but fists don't count because you're cavalry and I'm infantry, so let's just see how this can go. I got 1 hit and a retreat, and your retreat avenues are actually blocked, so that counts as 2 hits.
Oh, I shouldn't have took the hill. No!
And then it's your turn. You don't really have any guys left active, so unless...
Everything is... he should be exhausted right now.
Alright, well then let's try this. I will... So
wait. Oh, no, because everything is exhausted.
Yep, so you can't order anybody with one of those blue tokens because they're all exhausted. And I have a sneeze coming out. Excuse me. So by default, you end up passing. So my last token, I'm going to spend a blue token, and Jamie's going to go for the Gusto. I am blue, roll 3 dice. I am flanking, and Jamie's special ability is that the enemy commander's capture rating is reduced by 1. You're at 2. Your special ability is toughness, which is +1, but my special ability is -1, so you're back to where you started. So if I can roll 2 reds, which I did not, I do have flanking, so I'll reroll something. I rolled no hits. I did get a retreat. The retreat would do 1 damage, but 1's not enough to exceed your toughness capture rating, so it does nothing.
So let's say if you got a red in there.
If I got a red and a retreat,
that would have killed me.
That would have captured you, because that retreat converts to a hit, and that's the 2 necessary to exceed your toughness and capture you.
Okay. All right.
I think that's a pretty good indicative turn.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, and depending on the scenarios, if I had captured you, it might be an auto loss. Most scenarios, when you lose your last commander, you lose automatically. Otherwise, obviously, it's just a huge game changer when you lose that massive command ability.
Yeah.
So, since the game didn't end, we might as well go over end of turn. A couple things are going to happen. Hypothetically, if morale was down, it would readjust back up, but that didn't come up into it. The main thing is, if I had, let's say I had run out of tokens before ordering this guy, his flag would still be facing this direction. So at the end of the turn, you actually rotate everybody who wasn't rotated so that your flags are all universal.
Okay.
And then the next turn, you're just going to end up flipping flags the other direction as you use them. That way, the main thing this is going to do is just tell you who's activated and not activated. And instead of having you refresh everybody every turn, they just have you go opposite directions turn by turn. And handily enough, the victory point counter chart actually tells you which color flag should be facing towards you that turn for active people.
Okay, yeah.
So white then black then white then black. And so you can always just glance over and say, oh, it's a black turn, so black guys are allowed to activate.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. So then, once everything's done there, then we go ahead and draw more of these things. You're going to draw more cards.
The number of cards you draw are dictated by scenario, and interestingly enough, because they're scenario dictated, there might be some scenarios where the Lannister only get 2 cards a turn and the Stark get 4 or something like that, just as part of the scenario. There might be depicted by that. And then you also get 4 more random tokens. Before drawing cards and rolling for tokens, you have to discard down to 2 of each, so you can't just keep like 20 cards in your hand the whole time. And then wash, rinse, repeat.
There we go. Until somebody's dead.
Until somebody wins. Most scenarios have a, like, if at the end of turn 6 nobody's won, there's a default winner. But apart from that, somebody's going to die. You can see we had 1 turn, and most of our units are at half strength or less.
Yeah.
So a lot of damage. Now, obviously, we started next to each other. Sometimes there's more turns where you move around and try to flank. But once the lines crash, things start dying.
That definitely makes sense. All right, cool.
So, components. If there's one thing you can say about Fantasy Flight games is they do not skimp on production value. This game does have many, many expansions, and at first glance you might think, wow, he must have all the expansions on the table, and the answer is I have none of the expansions on this table. Base game, you definitely get the bang for your buck. It's going to come with your rule book, obviously, and a scenario book, and then lots of other doodads. The bulk of it is going to be the actual figures. These actually do come with bases, and then the figures that go on the bases, they come separately. You can just leave them separate and assemble them before each game. I advise setting aside some time, putting a movie that you know by heart into the DVD player, and entertaining yourself while gluing the 138 models to the 138 bases that come with the game, because that way going forward you can just toss these into a bag and not have to ever worry about that again. So bases and models and more bases. There are also going to be tokens galore. There are tokens for each of the factions, Stark ones and Lannister ones, and the tokens are going to consist mostly of flags, and going with the flags are going to be the plastic stands that allow the flags to go into your model. In addition to your model assembly tokens, the game also comes with many, I think something like 20 or 30 hex cardboard tiles that are going to be the terrain tiles. Depending on your scenario, it's going to tell you whether you want a road or some hills. I was assuming a river there, so I started with an R. Mountain or forests, mountains, cities, all kinds of options, which the scenario book is going to guide you with. And then last but not least are going to be cards, 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 and more cards. The cards are mostly going to be order cards that you're going to use throughout the game, but there's also plenty of handy reference cards for the unit statistics, for your leaders' statistical values and special abilities. I would, as with the gluing the bases to the models, I would recommend setting a day aside to sleeve all the cards. I'm not necessarily a big card sleeve guy myself. Just when it comes to card games or whatever, but I've become more and more of one just because you want to protect your investment. Well taken care of a game of this caliber with these nice minis and these nice heavy cardboard tiles could last for years and years and years down the line. It would be a shame if 4 or 5 years from now you were playing with tattered old cards and everybody knew that your Rally All Units card had that one torn spot on the back. So it is worth picking up the the Fantasy Flight game sleeves that match the cards, setting an evening aside and sleeving all of them.
And you also protect them in case if you run into a drunk Jeremy.
Yes, if you run into a drunk Jeremy, your cards at least will be protected. I can't denote what his alcohol will do to the cardboard, but it'll be less damaging than the cards. There's also tons and tons and tons of generic tokens. There's not only the order tokens, which we talked about in the how to play, but there's all kinds of other tokens that come up into specific scenarios. Like most hilariously is fire. Later in the game, the Mountain Gregor Clegane gets to just start setting fire to the whole board, and that's a blast and a half. So pick up the game if for no other reason than to set the world on fire. That's all the components. So there you have it. That was how to play Battles of Westeros. Hopefully you found that informative. If there's any other questions or comments, by all means comment below and subscribe if you like us. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, etc., and other such social media things. Thanks for watching. Bye. Well then well there you have it. Oh my god, you're gonna keep that in there? I just fucking know it. That's after credits, please drink there.